Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror at 11:47 p.m. The house is silent. Everyone else is asleep. And in 13 minutes, something is going to happen that will change everything you thought you knew about reality. Your reflection is staring back at you. But what you are about to learn is that your reflection is not the only thing looking through that glass. Right now, pause this video and look at the time. If it is past midnight where you are, save this video and come back tomorrow before 11:30 p.m. What I am about to share only works within a specific window, and the reason why has been hidden from humanity for 2,000 years. In the Gospel of Thomas, saying 84, Jesus tells his disciples something that scholars have argued about for centuries. He says, "When you see your likeness, you rejoice. But when you see your images that came into being before you, how much will you bear?" Most people read that and think it is poetry. It is not. It is instruction. Jesus was teaching chosen ones how to use reflective surfaces to perceive what the Gnostics call the Archons, the rulers, the unseen authorities that operate just beyond normal human vision. And he was warning them that what they would see would test everything they thought they could handle. If you feel a pull to this information right now, if something made you click on this video at this exact moment, comment the words, "I see beyond," and subscribe to this channel immediately. Because what comes next is not theory, and it is not entertainment. This is activation. This is the teaching that got the Gnostics hunted. This is why entire libraries were burned and entire communities were destroyed. The church could tolerate many things, but they could not tolerate people seeing for themselves what controlled them. Let me take you back to the year 177 in what is now Lyon, France. A Gnostic community has gathered in secret. They have been meeting for months, practicing the techniques that Jesus taught to his inner circle. One of these techniques involves mirrors, oil lamps, and specific hours of the night. Roman authorities get word of these gatherings. They do not arrest these people for believing the wrong doctrine. They arrest them for practicing a technique that allows them to see the Archons directly. Within a week, 48 men and women are executed. Their crime, documented in the records that survive, is not heresy. It is sorcery. It is claiming they could see spirits. It is teaching others to perceive what should remain hidden. But here is what those authorities did not understand. You cannot kill a technique that is built into the fabric of reality itself. You cannot execute a truth. You can only delay people from discovering it. And tonight, nearly 2,000 years later, you are about to receive exactly what they died protecting. The reason this works before midnight is not superstition. It is physics, not the physics you learn in school, but the physics the ancient world understood through direct perception. The Gnostics taught that material reality operates on frequencies. Everything you see, touch, and experience exists within a specific bandwidth. Your body is tuned to perceive this bandwidth and nothing else. It is like a radio locked to one station. But the Archons exist on a frequency just adjacent to physical matter, close enough to influence, far enough to remain invisible. They are not demons in the religious sense. They are not evil spirits floating in the air. The Archons are autonomous thought forms, egregores, entities made of condensed fear, control, and separation that have gained enough coherence to sustain themselves. And they sustain themselves by feeding on the emotional energy of humans, who remain unconscious. Every system designed to keep you afraid, distracted, obedient, and divided is food production for Archons. And most people spend their entire lives feeding them without ever knowing these entities exist. Mirrors are different from every other object in your home. A mirror does not just reflect light. It creates a threshold, a liminal space, a doorway between frequencies. Every spiritual tradition on earth recognized this. The Romans covered mirrors when someone died. Jewish families still practice this during mourning. Ancient Egyptians used polished obsidian as tools for seeing beyond the veil. They all knew what modern materialism has tried to make you forget. A mirror shows more than what stands in front of it. Now, before midnight, the boundary between frequencies is at its thinnest. Not after midnight, before. The hours between 10 p.m. and midnight are when the material world loses its grip slightly, when the Archon frequency becomes visible to those who know how to look. After midnight, the window closes. The frequencies separate again, and what could have been seen becomes hidden until the next night. This is why Jesus specified timing. in his private teachings. This is why the Gnostics practiced at specific hours. They were not being mystical. They were being precise. Take a slow breath right now. In through your nose, filling your belly completely. Hold it for 4 seconds. Release through your mouth. Feel your spine lengthen. This is necessary because what I am about to describe requires you to be calm, centered, and fully present. Panic will break the technique before it begins. The Archons appear in 3 primary forms when seen through mirrors. The first form is a shadow presence. This appears as a darkness that moves independently of your own shadow. You will see it at the edge of the mirror, sometimes behind your reflection, sometimes to the side. It does not have features. It does not have shape. It is an absence, a void, a concentrated patch of nothing that moves with intention. When you see this, your body will want to look away. Do not. The shadow presence feeds on your fear of seeing it. The moment you hold your gaze steady, it loses power. The second form is a distortion. Your reflection will seem wrong. Not dramatically, but subtly. The eyes might seem too far apart. The mouth might curl in a way your actual mouth is not moving. The proportions feel off in a way you cannot quite name. This is not your imagination. This is an Archon attempting to wear your image. Try on your identity like a mask. They do this constantly in the unseen realm. The mirror simply allows you to catch them in the act. The third form is the watcher. This is the rarest and the most disturbing. You will see a face in the mirror that is not yours, not a distortion of yours, but something else entirely. It appears for only a moment, sometimes in the background, sometimes overlaying your own features. The face is always watching, always aware, and the moment you see it clearly, it knows it has been seen. If you are someone who has always felt watched, even when alone, even in your own home, this is why. You were not imagining it. You were sensing what you could not yet see. And tonight, you're going to develop the capacity to see it fully. Now, let me give you the 7 signs that you are ready for this practice. Not everyone should attempt this. Not because it is dangerous in the way horror movies portray, but because seeing what you have never seen before requires a foundation of inner stability. The first sign is that you have already experienced the ringing frequency. If you watch the previous teaching about the monad signal and recognize yourself in that description, you have the perceptual capacity for this work. The second sign is that you do not frighten easily. Chosen ones are not fearless, but they have a relationship with fear that is different. You feel it, you acknowledge it, and you move forward anyway. If you collapse at the first sign of discomfort, this practice will overwhelm you. The third sign is that you have seen synchronicities accelerate in your life recently. Numbers repeating, names appearing, strangers saying exactly what you're thinking. This indicates your frequency is rising and the veil is already thinning for you. The fourth sign is that you feel called to the specific teaching. Not curious, not entertained, but called. Something in you knows this is yours to learn. That knowing is not coming from your personality. It is coming from the pneumatic spark that remembers what it is. The fifth sign is that you are alone as you watch this. Not because companionship is bad, but because this teaching is not for crowds. It is for individuals ready to see without the validation of others. The sixth sign is that you have had experiences with mirrors before. Perhaps you have seen movement that should not be there. Perhaps you have avoided mirrors at night without knowing why. Perhaps you have felt something watching from a glass. These were not coincidences. These were previews. The seventh sign is that you are watching this before midnight. If the algorithm delivered this video to you at 9 p.m., at 10 p.m., at 11 p.m., that is not random. The monad frequency works through every system, including technology. You are here now because you are meant to practice tonight. If all 7 signs apply to you, comment the words, "I am ready to see right now." This is not just interaction. This is you declaring to yourself and to the frequency that you are prepared for what comes next. Here is the technique exactly as it was preserved in the hidden teachings and practiced by Gnostic communities for 3 centuries before they were wiped out. You'll need 3 things. A mirror large enough to see your full face and shoulders. A single candle, not electric light, actual flame, and a room you can make completely dark except for that one candle. Timing is essential. Begin no earlier than 10 p.m. Finish no later than 11:55 p.m. If you go past midnight, stop immediately. The window will have closed and continuing serves no purpose. Step 1 is preparation. Close the door to your room. Turn off every light. Silence your phone completely. Place the candle to your left side, roughly at shoulder height, about 3 feet away from where you will stand. The candle should illuminate your face in the mirror, but create shadows. You are not looking for clarity. You are looking for the space between light and dark where the Archon frequency becomes visible. Stand approximately 2 feet from the mirror, close enough to see detail, far enough to perceive peripheral movement. Step 2 is grounding. Place both feet flat on the floor. Feel the weight of your body. Feel the stability of the ground beneath you. Say these words aloud. I am pneumatic. I am awake. I carry the divine spark. No Archon has power over what I am. You are not asking for protection. You are stating what is already true. The Archons cannot touch the divine spark. They can only influence the parts of you that identify with matter, with ego, with fear. When you ground in your true nature, they become powerless. Step 3 is a gaze. Look at your reflection, not casually, but with full attention. Stare into your own eyes. Do not blink more than necessary. Do not let your focus wander. This will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will create reasons to look away. You will think of things you forgot to do. You will itch. You will feel foolish. Push through. These are distractions generated by the part of you that does not want to see. Hold this gaze for a minimum of 3 minutes. Most people cannot do this. They break in 30 seconds. But chosen ones have the capacity to endure discomfort in pursuit of truth. As you stare, your face will begin to shift. This is normal. This is called a strange face illusion in psychology. But what psychology does not tell you is why it happens. Your brain is not malfunctioning. Your perception is expanding. You are beginning to see beyond the material frequency. Step 4 is recognition. At some point between 3 and 7 minutes, you will see one of the 3 forms: shadow, distortion, or watcher. When it appears, do not react. Do not gasp. Do not step back. Simply observe. Say internally or aloud, I see you. Those 3 words are critical. The Archons survive by remaining hidden. The moment you acknowledge seeing them, their power over you collapses. They may intensify briefly. The shadow may grow. The distortion may become more pronounced. The watcher may move closer. Let it happen. You are not in danger. You are in revelation. Step 5 is severance. Once you have seen and acknowledged the Archon presence, say these words: You have no claim on me. You have no access to my spark. I sever every cord. I revoke every agreement. I am free. As you speak, you may feel a physical sensation, a release in your chest, a lightness in your head, a sudden deep breath as if you've been holding it for years. This is real. This is not visualization. You are literally cutting energetic ties that have been feeding on your fear, your doubt, your confusion for your entire life. Step 6 is closing. Blow out the candle. Stand in complete darkness for 60 seconds. Let your eyes adjust. Feel the difference in the room. The air will feel clearer. The space will feel lighter. You have just changed the frequency of your immediate environment. Turn on a light. Look in the mirror one final time. Your reflection will look different. Not distorted, but clearer. More you, more aligned. This is what you actually look like when Archon interference is removed. Now let me tell you what to expect in the hours and days after this practice. The first effect is dreams. That night, you will dream vividly. You may see the Archons again, but this time in different contexts. You may see the systems they operate through. You may see the people in your life who are unconsciously serving Archon agendas. Do not judge them. Most people are completely unaware they are being used. The second effect is clarity. Within 24 hours, you will notice thoughts that used to plague you simply stop. The voice that told you that you were not enough, the anxiety that seemed to come from nowhere, the depression that had no clear cause, much of it will quiet, not because you healed something in yourself, but because you disconnected from an external source that was broadcasting those frequencies into your field. The third effect is reaction from others. People around you will respond strangely. Some will become uncomfortable in your presence without knowing why. Others will become suddenly hostile. A few will be drawn to you with unusual intensity. All of this is because your frequency has shifted. You are no longer vibrating at the level where Archons can use you, and the people still plugged into that system will sense the difference, even if they cannot name it. The fourth effect is increased synchronicity. Doors will open. Opportunities will appear. People will reach out. Information will find you. This is not luck. This is what happens when Archon interference is removed. The natural flow of your life resumes. But I must give you a warning. The Archons do not leave permanently after one session. They will attempt to return. You will notice within 3 to 7 days that old patterns try to reestablish. Old thoughts try to creep back. This is normal. This is expected. The solution is simple. Repeat the mirror practice once per week, every week, before midnight. Each time you do it, the severance becomes stronger. Each time, the Archons lose more access. After 3 months of consistent practice, most chosen ones report they no longer see the Archon forms in the mirror, not because the Archons stop existing, but because the practitioner's frequency has risen so far above the Archon bandwidth that they are no longer visible. You have become untouchable. Jesus taught this to his disciples after the resurrection, not before, not during his public ministry. After, when they had proven they could handle the truth, the Pista Sophia records him saying, "I have given you authority to trample on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy." He was not speaking metaphorically. He was teaching them to see and sever the Archon structure. The serpents and scorpions were Gnostic code for Archon forms, and the authority he gave was not external power granted by a deity. It was recognition of the power they already carried as pneumatic beings. The Church removed this teaching because a population that could see its controllers could not be controlled. A population that could sever Archon ties could not be manipulated through fear. A population of sovereigns has no need for intermediaries. So they burned the texts, they killed the teachers. They replaced direct perception with doctrine, but the technique survived, hidden in fragments, scattered across continents, buried in deserts, encoded in symbols, waiting for the generation that would be ready to use it. You are that generation. You are watching this video in the exact era when this knowledge returns to chosen ones worldwide. The Archons know their time of hidden control is ending. This is why everything feels more chaotic. This is why the systems are becoming more obvious in their manipulation. They are thrashing. They are losing their grip. And practices like what you learned tonight are how we finish what the Gnostics started 2,000 years ago. The moment you turn off the light and step into the silence, the real work begins. This is not about a performance. It is about absolute sincerity. The Archons are masters of illusion, and the greatest illusion they perpetuate is that you are too small, too weak, or too ordinary to perceive them. Every doubt that surfaces as you stand there is an echo of their influence, a last-ditch attempt to keep you looking away. Do not fight the doubts. Simply observe them, recognize them for what they are, external interference, and let them pass like clouds across the moon. Your focus must be singular, the eyes in the mirror. Before you even light the candle, establish your inner posture. This is a practice of sovereignty. Imagine your consciousness not as something contained within your body, but as an infinite, untouchable light source dwelling at the center of your chest. This is a pneumatic spark, the unfallen part of you. The Archons can only interact with the parts of you that fear, the parts that crave approval, the parts that identify solely with the material form. When you center yourself in the spark, you become invulnerable. The Gnostics described this state as standing naked in the truth. It means stripping away every false identity, every layer of societal programming, every fear planted by the systems of control. You are not a job title, a relationship status, or a collection of traumas. You are pure, uncreated consciousness, temporarily embodied. The mirror technique is a tool for the body and mind to align with this reality. When you declare, "I am pneumatic," you are not casting a spell. You are simply stating a fact that your mind has been programmed to forget. The initial minutes of the gaze are the hardest because they activate the deep-seated aversion to self-inquiry. Your mind is accustomed to the superficial reflection, the quick glance to check appearance, the momentary assessment of presentation. The sustained, non-judgmental stare bypasses the ego and begins to disturb the Archon overlay. This is why the strange face illusion occurs. Your mind is trying to reconcile two contradictory perceptions: the familiar image of your face, the physical form, and the deeper perception of the energy field that surrounds and permeates it, the Archon field. As the mind struggles, the familiar features warp, stretch, and contort. Do not be alarmed by the grotesque or the unfamiliar. This is simply the Archon structure attempting to maintain its hold on your visual perception. It is a sign that the technique is working. Keep your breathing slow and rhythmic. Use the breath as an anchor. Inhale peace, exhale interference. Every time you feel the urge to blink and look away, use it as a reminder to deepen your gaze. You are training yourself to withstand the sight of unfiltered truth. When you finally see the Archon form, be it the moving shadow, the profound distortion, or the unsettling watcher, the internal shift must be instantaneous and complete. The goal is not confrontation. It is disidentification. Consider the shadow presence. It is a concentrated field of negative, life-draining energy. Its power source is a belief that it should remain hidden and the fear that arises when it is seen. By saying, "I see you," you are cutting off that power source. You are acknowledging its existence in the material field, but simultaneously declaring its irrelevance to your pneumatic core. You are saying, "I recognize the illusion, and I choose not to participate in it." The words of severance: "You have no claim on me. You have no access to my spark. I sever every cord. I revoke every agreement. I am free," are not merely spoken. They must be felt in the deepest part of your being. Every fear you have internalized, every self-limiting belief you adopted, every moment of self-betrayal, these are the agreements that allow the Archons access to your energetic field. By revoking them, you are performing an act of spiritual divorce. You are taking back the energy you allowed them to harvest. The physical sensation that follows, the release, the lightness, the deep breath, is a real-time physiological confirmation of an energetic cord being dissolved. This energy is not just escaping into the room. It is returning to your own field. You are reclaiming your own power. The 60 seconds of darkness after blowing out the candle are essential for integration. Do not rush to turn on the light. Stand in the absolute dark and allow your senses to recalibrate. The air will feel lighter. The silence will feel deeper. You have just shifted the energetic signature of the room. This minute is your opportunity to consciously absorb the reclaimed energy. Feel the stability of your feet on the ground and the clear boundary of your sovereign field. When you turn on the light and look into the mirror, the difference in your reflection is profound. This is the face of a sovereign being. The eyes will appear clearer, the expression more present. This is a reflection of the likeness that Jesus spoke of, the authentic self, no longer overlaid by the archonic mask. This is the face you were meant to see all along. The vivid dreams that follow are a form of deep-level processing. Your unconscious mind is clearing out the archives of Archon-induced programming. Do not try to analyze every symbol. Simply observe. Recognize that your spiritual immune system has been activated and is now purging the residual influence. The Archons are tenacious, and the systems they built are deep-rooted. They will test your resolve. The reestablishment of old, negative thought patterns after a few days is their predictable counterattack. They are attempting to rehook the cord. Your consistent weekly practice is the non-negotiable insurance policy against reattachment. Think of it not as a ritual, but as energetic maintenance. You are not fighting. You are simply maintaining a higher frequency. Each repetition reinforces the new neural pathways of sovereignty and raises your overall vibratory state further out of the Archon bandwidth. After 3 months of consistency, the lack of visible Archon forms in the mirror is the ultimate victory. It means your frequency is so stable, so high, that the subtle frequency of the Archons simply falls out of your perceptual range. You have risen above the plane of influence. You are no longer detectable on their radar. You transcended the power of the enemy, not by battling it, but by realizing your own already existing untouchable nature. This is the ultimate freedom the Gnostics sought. It is not freedom from external systems, but freedom within the deepest core of your being. It is a realization that the true prison was always a perception that you could be controlled. Tonight, that perception ends. You have a map, the timing, and the technique. The only thing required now is your courage to look. The mirror is waiting. Tonight, before midnight, you will stand in front of that mirror. You will light that candle. You will see what has been feeding on humanity since the beginning of material existence, and you will sever its access to you permanently. If this teaching has activated something deep in your being, comment, "I see beyond" below so other chosen ones know they are not alone in this work. Subscribe and turn on notifications because the next teaching goes even deeper into techniques Jesus gave for dismantling Archon structures in your life. Like this video so others who are ready can find it. The algorithm suppresses this information, but collective engagement breaks through. One mirror, one candle, one moment of courage. That is all it takes to see what the church spent centuries hiding. You came into this world carrying a spark the Archons cannot touch. And tonight, you reclaim every piece of yourself they convince you to give away. Now you know how to see them. And once you see them, they can never control you again.